From Season 4, Finale Theory Script. What if a throwaway answer in a cast interview just gave away the fate of two major characters before the finale even airs? The more I dug into this, the more it seemed like a small, harmless comment might be one of the biggest unintentional spoilers of the whole season, and if it's true, it changes how we should be watching every episode that's left. Hey everyone, welcome back to Breakdown Insight. Quick heads up. Full spoilers ahead for From Season 4. We're down to the final stretch of episodes and the big questions are still up in the air. Who makes it out, who doesn't, and whether the town is circling back toward another massacre. But a recent press conversation with two of the cast may have already tipped their hand. A slip in the cast interview. Here's the setup. In a roundtable-style chat, the actors who play two central characters were asked about their favorite moments from the season. Pretty standard promo question, but while answering, one of them described a scene as their last scene with the other character. On its own, that's not much, but it's worth sitting with for a second. Why would two actors be reminiscing about a heavy, emotional scene that supposedly happens late in the season if one of their characters isn't supposed to make it to the end? My read. This is a hint that both characters last a lot longer than fans have been assuming. It gets more interesting from there. The conversation moved on to whether they'd be back for another season of filming, and one actor started answering, then caught himself and trailed off like he realized he was about to say too much. Why the hesitation? Matters that pause is the detail that stuck with me. If both characters were locked in for a tragic ending, would the conversation have drifted toward next season so naturally in the first place? Now I know the counter-argument. Characters can return as dream sequences, memories, or visions even after they're written off. That's a fair point, and the show has done it before, but there's a real difference between filming a quick flashback cameo and talking like you're going to be a regular part of the cast again. The tone of that exchange leaned toward the second one. If that holds up, it suggests both characters survived the Season 4 finale, and this wouldn't be the first time eagle-eyed fans pieced together a spoiler from outside the actual episodes. Interviews, B-roll, and offhand cast comments have leaked plot details before. Sometimes the biggest reveal isn't in the footage, it's in the press tour. What survival does to the massacre theory. If these two characters do make it through, it puts a dent in one of the show's most popular running theories, that the town is gearing up for another massacre, mirroring the original tragedy from the show's backstory. The tension's been building all season, paranoia, fractures within the group, callbacks to that earlier event. But here's a twist worth considering. What if the show is setting up that expectation specifically so it can subvert it? What if the cycle is supposed to happen again, and this season's the first time it doesn't? That would actually be a more unsettling outcome. A cycle that keeps repeating is at least predictable. A cycle that suddenly breaks raises the question of what happens to a system that's been working for decades when it stops working. Sophia's expanding role. One character who keeps getting pulled deeper into the main plot is Sophia. Episode by episode, she's becoming more tied to the season's central mysteries, and there are signs she'll be central to whatever the finale is building toward. Possibly connected to the show's antagonist, possibly connected to the rules of the town itself. Either way, she feels less like a side character now and more like a key to something bigger. Boyd's impossible choice. Then there's Boyd, who might be facing the heaviest decision of the series so far. Finale descriptions point to him hitting a genuine crossroads, language that usually signals an actual dilemma, not a simple plot beat. That kind of setup typically means there's no clean win. One path helps people, the other risks everything, and neither option is safe. I don't think Boyd is close to getting everyone out of the town just yet. I think he's close to understanding how the town actually works, and this season has done a good job of doling out small pieces of that puzzle without handing over the whole picture. A different kind of finale. Which brings up the real possibility I keep coming back to. What if this finale isn't about an escape at all? What if it's about finally figuring out that an escape is possible? That's a meaningfully different ending. Instead of the season closing with people driving off into the distance, it could close with the discovery of the method, the actual how. Season 5 would then become the fight over whether that method can be used and by whom. That would also explain why the show seems comfortable keeping major characters alive right now. If the bigger payoff is still a season away, this finale doesn't need to wrap everything up. It just needs to shift the board. Predictions and wrap-up. So here's where I'm landing. Both characters from that interview survive. The massacre doesn't play out the way everyone expects. Boyd uncovers something that reshapes what we know about the town, and Sophia ends up at the center of it all. That said, From has earned a reputation for blindsiding its audience right when things seem predictable, so take all of this as an educated guess, not a guarantee. What do you think? Did that interview accidentally confirm a survival? Is the massacre cycle finally going to break? Drop your theories in the comments, and if you're into finale breakdowns like this, hit subscribe so you don't miss the rest of our coverage as we get closer to the end. See you in the next one.